Ah. How do I refresh? All right, chat, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Oh wait, I don't have my chat here. Wait, I have. That's crazy, bro. I couldn't even say something about light and he turned off my internet. That's fucking crazy. The streets say you lost to a Pac-Man. Don't remind me, bro. My internet just died really quickly, but like sometimes you can like salvage it. Like let's say if my stream goes offline, right? If the internet comes back fast enough, I can hit start streaming and I don't have to make a new YouTube page, you know? But if enough time passes, that past stream that the internet died, it turned into a VOD. So when I hit start streaming, I thought I was good now because I was already good, but I had to remake the page because enough time has passed. It didn't feel like enough time has passed, but yeah. So, but at the same time, I think when I was yapping about like what I was talking about earlier about light, I wasn't paying attention that like the internet died until I saw it already say that like the connection is dead. Like it won't say that unless like some time has passed. So that's what made me notice. Then I looked and I was like, oh shit, yeah, it says I'm offline. So, but yeah, light sucks. That's what I was trying to say. No. But actually though, but what I was saying is, Light, if Light were to win a tournament, it'd be a great day because one, Light's the homie, but two, he doesn't win that much. Like he has good placements, but a lot of the characters that we were just talking about earlier end his run. Like how often do you hear, oh, Light lost to a Corrin or like a Cloud? Or like not even Spargo. The last time he lost to Spargo, he lost to his Piranha Plant, but that was like Spargo, you know. But for the most part, the people who are his walls of like winning tournaments, you got it's like Akala or like a Steve, Mia, Zomba and him trade sets, and Sonics. Sonics beats him more often now than before. Before Sonics used to lose to Light pretty often, but now definitely. It's like the tide has shifted for sure. Like it would be more surprising if Sonics lost as opposed to won. Yeah, a lot of the great players and stuff, or like the people who used to win super majors and stuff that don't play those characters, it would be surprising if they won. When Tweak won Let's Make Big Moves, it was surprising. It was the one major that he only won that year, basically, because I mean, I'm saying like it was the one super major he won, I think, or maybe like he won like both Let's Make Moves, like in Miami and the New York one. But it was like a big deal or a bigger deal because Tweak doesn't get that super major win as much anymore. Granted, he did take a break, so it's easier to say that he wasn't getting a super major win because he stopped playing for like half a year. But even now, he's been having like a little bit of shakier results. He did have a good Kagaribi, but you know, missed out top 8 by 1 spot. Yours truly, thank you for the 5. We've been telling you, Unc, your Newark internet is poop. Ratioed by physique. But what was I saying? Yeah, even Leo. I mean, Leo uses Pyromithra and Joker, But even him winning like a big tournament, it hasn't happened in a while. What was his last big win? He won like that like barely major tournament over Sonics, which, you know, it's still counted as a major, but like a super major win, like an S tier event. You know, Leo's the GOAT, but it has been a while. It has been a while, man. You know, got really close to Kagaribi. That's what made it more tragic. He was so fucking close. But odds are, even if he did beat NairoMK that game 5, even if he got his run back against Spargo, I think it's safe to say the same winner would have won the tournament. The same person was gonna win the tournament. I think Akala still would have won at the end of the day. Now Leo at second would have been nice, cool, you know, but I think it was safe to say that Akala was just gonna farm him. Yeah, because he has to figure it out with Steve for sure. Steve is definitely, you know, no pun intended, one of the walls. I mean, Steve is one of the walls for a lot of people, you know, obviously, which is why I was saying he should probably be in his own row of a character, because like even this many years into the game, at least people have like a bunch of counterplay stuff versus Sonic, Snake, and Game & Watch and stuff like that, or maybe not the most horrendous matchup or whatever. Like, bro, listen. If Mia made that comeback against Leo, Kagaribi day 2, you know the set when they played earlier this week. If he made that 3-stock reverse comeback with Steve, he would have became the most hated Ultimate player. Easily, bro. Easily. Nobody was gonna respect Mia no more, bro. Nobody was gonna respect them. Hell no. That would have been like that would have just like shifted the tone for the whole event, bro. Telling you. Like, obviously, you know, only like really upset people would disregard Mia as a good player. Obviously, he still is a really good player. But in that moment, if he got reverse 3-0'd when he was reverse 3-stock when he was one good hit away from going to winner's quarters, facing off Spargo, guaranteeing one of them to make top 8, like, brother. And you know what's crazy? If Leo lost, he would have fought Raph. If he beat him, he would have fought Carmelo. That was gonna be his wall. He was gonna peak at 13th. Cause the same shit like I just said, Steve is the wall, man. I would have been very surprised if he beat Carmelo. We just had to get like Steve out the way of Leo's bracket for the most part. He fought 0 Steves at Kagaribi and he got 4th place, almost could have made it to grand finals without fighting a Steve, which is kind of crazy because there was a lot of Steves in that top 24, but he stayed in winners, so that's why he was big chiller. But what you call it? Yeah, and Mia has so many major wins and stuff, but at that moment people wouldn't have cared. Because he would have just like shifted the mood of the bracket. And low key, NairoMK, he kind of doing that lately. I'm not gonna lie. Different character. I mean, people give NairoMK more respect because he's the only min doing it. But he is kind of ruining a lot of the good runs out here. You know, just he's being that guy. You know, unless you're a NairoMK fan, then he definitely is that guy for you then. But I've seen him beat Spargo, I've seen him beat Light, I've seen him beat Leo, I've seen him let me see, what else he do? I've seen him, I think, beat Cosmos back then. Zomba. Riddles, oh my god, his set versus Riddles at, I think it was the other Kagaribi. Oh my god. So much work just to get fucking Min walled at game 5. Yeah, Riddles last year, it just came into my head, yep. And the worst part is most of them are game 5s. So you're like so close, yet so far. I hate Min. She's easily my most hated character because she just promotes such ass gameplay. Like, You have to respect so much stuff from such a far distance a lot of times. But I do always give credit where credit is due. NairoMK definitely is crazy of a player. You know, I'm not gonna discredit that. I just hate the character. You know, I know how to fucking separate character and player hate. But what you call it? But he do be ruining the dreams of a lot of players. So why is Min Min not top 3? Probably because Snake is way more represented in the meta. NairoMK is the only Min Min. Think perfect example is Spargo. You see where Cloud is at now? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Cloud was where Min Min was. If y'all remember, literally like about to be top 5, or maybe he was in the top 5. And what did I say back then? I said, that's just Spargo, you know? And you can kind of say the same thing for Min Min. However, it's pretty easy to visually tell that Min Min is a step above Cloud, you know? Like, you don't need rocket science to figure that out, that Min Min is like a crazy character when played like at that level. Like, yes, Spargo when he plays Cloud at that level is crazy, but he is also like, Cloud is very similar to Palutena in the sense that he does have to hit you. He has to hit you a good amount of times. Like, he does have some good combos, you know. If he gets like that perfect up air on the platform, he can like chain it to like 3, maybe 4 up airs, good damage and shit like that. But a lot of it is juggling. A lot of it is like reading a spot dodge, hitting or catching an approach of cross slash and shit like that. You know, there are some cheese stocks, of course. Like, you know, you might be able to get like a finishing touch kill here and there, or like a forward air near the ledge and shit like that, something run off forward air. But in terms of how easy it is for him to get it against a lot of the characters, a lot of the best characters, it's become a lot harder and harder over time, because he's kind of doing the same thing over and over again. It makes it predictable to, like, you know what he's gonna do. Which is why Spargo doesn't use Cloud against a lot of players that he used to shit on. With Cloud, he doesn't feel comfortable in that matchup unless like he feels like he's playing God mode that day. He fights Light, he might go Piranha Plant again, dead ass. Like, he might not even start off with Cloud, he might just go Piranha Plant. He has not taken a set off Light in a while with Cloud. The last set he beat him with was Piranha Plant, and he just YOLO'd that shit, probably because like he was annoyed of the matchup of Cloud versus Fox, that he was like, I'm gonna just go Piranha Plant and just matchup check slash just fuck up Light. And guess what? He 3-0'd his ass. So he's probably gonna do that same shit again. Sonics, he used to go Cloud versus Sonics before going Aegis, but once he got like to a level where he was like, damn, if I mess up one time I die. Aegis, damn, if I get hit one time I die. All right, let me go Roy. You know, like, and he's like, okay, I don't die in one hit now, or I have an easier time controlling the thing, or like neutral and shit. But I digress, you know. But Min Min has true combos as well that actually lead up to kills. How many times have we seen somebody air dodge into Min Min near the ledge? She just, and that's all you need to see. She just slides up to the ledge, pops up the opponent after they pop out of the air dodge. You can literally look away and you can hear the fucking melody line up. You can hear the choir get ready in the victory theme. The whoa, you can literally hear it upon a fucking down tilt at 20%, bro. Like, it's just game. Zachary versus NairoMK. What happened? It was like kind of a close game. He got like ledge trumped or something. He buffered a directional air dodge afterwards. Down tilt. Whoa, that's it. It was like, what could have been, bro? What could have been? But you got down tilt to that 30 and you died. So yeah. And like, you know, their way of balancing Ram was, it doesn't do as much damage, but it does not matter if you can just kill them. You know? Like, if you can like clip their jump with a Ram or something, like, it's not like it has reverse knockback. It doesn't bring you to Min Min, it puts you away still, you know? So it's just very effective. It's very easy to get on tilt versus Min Min. Min Min has to be like top 3 most easy characters to tilt versus, because you know they're gonna go for like scrub options at times, but it works. If they roll in a lot, or like, you know, spot dodge, down smash. Now they're across the stage and now they can do all their bullshit. You get grabbed, take 18% off the back throw and a buff dragon arm. Now you're like, oh my God, here we fucking go. You know, like there's so many things that you're like, oh, here we go and stuff. Way more than Cloud. Cloud can be annoying at times too, but like they're both gimpable, but like the level of getting to that character to be able to hit them, to gimp them, definitely is harder for Min Min. And then she throws out the random ass down airs and shit like that. So, why you up so late? What you mean? This is my normal time. Though I'm probably gonna wrap up soon. We kind of were like getting a little off topic talking about stuff. So editors, I know it's a little tricky. I mean, a lot of what we just talked about doesn't need to be included. You could kind of like mention like that. The 6 characters that we listed above, like, you know, number 1 to 6 are characters that are basically like shoo-ins for winning a super major and stuff in this day and age, you know, until there's like some type of shift or something like that. But for the most part, if if the front runners are all in attendance of all their characters, one of those dudes ends up winning at the end of the day, holding up the trophy and all that good stuff. So yeah, characters are broken. They make these 6 characters right here. Where's my mouse? These 6 characters make legitimately, these 6 characters make everything from B+ to E. Basically, they render them useless. I'm gonna be honest. So even some characters in A, like, gotta hold that too, you know? They gotta hold that shit too. But B+ and down, they kind of just get shut down by all of them. So that's why you never really see any of these characters truly like rise up against any of those characters consistently. You know, we just had Mado beat that Steve to make top 24, and even the crowd was going crazy and all this shit. And guess what? You know, his reward was fighting the same Steve that put him in winners or losers bracket. And guess what that Steve did? Eliminated him from the tournament, you know, and that's it. Boom. So even though you do manage to overcome it, there's still another one at the end of the day waiting to just ruin your day. What about Rosa versus Game & Watch? I wasn't talking particularly like every single character shuts them down, but I'm saying typically these matchups, one of them don't know walls, the other. They power creep. You know, like Terry might do decent. I mean, Riddle's, listen. Perfect example. What happened at level up? Riddle's, Terry. Even though Terry should be at A-, but let's use the example. Riddle's beat Sonics at level up. What was his reward? He fought Toon. Game 5, super last hit set. I think he had to reverse 3-0 him, right? Holy shit, he's doing it. He's fighting against the Sinister 6 over here. Who did he fight next? Who was it again? Was it Akala? Did he fight Akala? Who was the Steve? I know he got double eliminated by Steve. That's where I was going to. He lost to Carmelo and he lost to another Steve. Oh no, it was Crep. You're right, it was Crep. He lost to Crep. So even though he beat Sonic and Steve, he had to fight against Steve again. He wasn't out of like hell yet. Fought another Sinister 6 member. Boom, got sent to losers bracket. Immediately fought Carmelo. Boom, another one of the Sinister 6 got eliminated. Boom, that's it. Congratulations, you fought hard, you made it far, you lost. It happens to a lot of people, bro. Like it really, like them characters will stop your run. What happened to Mutace? Beat Carmelo. He beat Toon. Who did he fight? Who did he fight next out of the Sinister 6? Akala, that's who he fought. Got 3-0'd by Akala, fell right into hurt. Another member of the Sinister 6 got eliminated too. Enjoy your 9th place, you know? Like them characters are typically the dudes that stop a lot of players' runs. Some kind of combination, whether it's double of the same character, maybe sometimes it's like you know, one and then the other, but like it's typically those characters that ruin the run of another player really far in the bracket, because they always consistently make it to the very end of the bracket. Gluto? Okay, well, Gluto, he did beat a lot of Steves. He didn't lose to no Sinister 6. He lost to the Sinister European Slayer. Shuton. They don't got any Olimars over there. It's fair game. But yes, he had to go through hell but I mean, he also lost to Akala as well. So yeah, he did lose to one of the 6. He didn't get double eliminated by them, but in the end, I know we're like saying, like, you know, making jokes about Sinister Sticks and all that, but obviously they're the best characters in the game, so it should be expected that a lot of the best characters in the games are preventing the non-best characters in the game from winning. So that's normal. It's just, I'm just saying that like a lot of the Cinderella runs, I guess you can say, get walled out eventually by one of those characters, you know? It's very, very rare to see somebody in this day and age just go through the whole bracket and slay everybody, like the best players of that character. We have not seen somebody in a while beat Sonics, Hurt, Akala, and Doramigi all to win the tournament, unless they are one of the 6. Unless it's one of the 6, you know, like Zamba or Sonics beating, like, you know, winning Genesis. He beat Doramigi, he beat Zamba, and he beat, I think, Carmelo or something like that, you know? You only see them really like trade them sets, but you don't really see Yoshidora beat all the Japanese players that I just listed. You sometimes see, I guess, Rauru, you know, like sometimes Rauru does get that big win. He did win that tournament over Hurt, but the other players weren't in attendance, but he did beat Hurt that time. That does have a pretty bad losing record against Hurt though, overall. And then, yeah, you know, I guess Louis Money almost did it at Afterburner. I think he beat like, he beat Mia, he took a set off Carmelo. I forget if he beat a Sonic player there, but like, you know, he almost did it. So it is possible to do it. Spargo, the last time Spargo's done that was legitimately last year. He did not have the best start to this year. However, my boy did really, really well at Kagaribi. So hopefully he's going to continue said ass whooping. Yeah, it's a very, very small group of players. Like these characters slash like the masters of those characters, they got tournaments on lock right now, you know? Louis Money beat Peanut, Zamba, Mia. Yeah, Zamba, Mia, and a set off Carmelo. So he almost did it at Afterburner. But he lost set 2 to Carmelo. So, you know, point proven. Like, it's possible, but so difficult to have that fucking first place above all those players, because they eventually tire you out, or like they start getting the bullshit on you, and then, you know, that's it. It's a shame that Snake is part of the villains. Low key, he's like in my opinion, he's the least egregious one. You know, like, I think the others are way worse in terms of fighting against, or like tilting to play against. But that's my bias speaking, because I actually like fighting against Snake. Kazuya could be like could fill in the spot for Snake, but there's no Kazuya. Even like Riddles, while he's obviously godlike, he doesn't play the game like that. He's probably just waiting for a new season, fresh season for Street Fighter 6 to get back on that and stuff. You know, he's kind of burnt out, and also like, you know, new season now for Capcom Cup and all that, because he didn't qualify for the last one, so he had time to like kind of just kill. So I would say, I mean, I'm not gonna speak for Riddles because, you know, I might be wrong, but I would say that when now the new season begins for Street Fighter, I think he's gonna lock in again on Street Fighter. So don't expect to see him like grinding out Smash Ultimate for that long. You know, there's another $1 million prize pool or first place Capcom Cup at 1 year from now. So, you know, obviously he wants to qualify for that year. So he has the time period to enter Smash tournaments at the moment, and you know, so I'm sure he cares about doing well at both Smash and Street Fighter. But if he had to pick one, come on, what do you think he picking? You think he picking the one you fighting for a fucking like a box of tissues and shit like that, or a 1 million? Like, come on, that's a given, dog. But anyways, rant / tier list over. I know we kind of started talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but that wraps up the tier list. Editor, sorry if I made it a little difficult. I mean, a lot of what we just talked about in the last hour could honestly not be included. You know, you could honestly include the Sinister Six thing that I just mentioned, because that's honestly, like I said, those characters are honestly all a step above the rest in the current meta at the very least, and I'd be very surprised to see another character take one of those spots, honestly, like at any point in Ultimate. But that being said, this is the Smash Ultimate 4th official tier list. I definitely thought there was way more, but nope, there isn't. Overall, I know some people will probably disagree on placements a lot, but realistically, I think this tier list isn't bad. It could be way worse. I know I was like, you know, I was like gassing up like, why the fuck is Pikachu underneath Palu, which is kind of crazy, but like they're only one spot of difference, you know. That's nothing. Like they're like in the same spot. Like it truly doesn't matter if like they swapped, you know. Like, you know, there are some like stuff like, you know, Luigi maybe. I mean, Luigi has the results of a top 10 a character, that for sure. Now matchups and stuff like that's where I think it kind of gets a little like he doesn't have a top 10 character matchup chart in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a Luigi expert, but just thinking about the rest of the characters and how like degenerate some characters can play, I can see Luigi having a pretty annoying time against a lot of characters and shit like that. Yoshi, don't know if I necessarily agree with Yoshi being a top tier, but he is not a bad character. Like if he was like where Wario was, I don't think people would bitch about it. And that's only like what, 5 character, like a 5-6 character difference. Not really the biggest difference, you know. The top 6 or like the top portion of the cast, yep, that looks about right to me. Now I maybe not Snake being top 3, but yeah, you know, like in terms of like those characters in some kind of order, that looks pretty accurate to me. And then yeah, like other characters might be like a few spots up, maybe like Wolf a couple spots higher, Roy a couple spots higher, Terry like 3 or 4 spots higher, Sephiroth, unfortunately, man, I think you guys think that I love calling him mid. He really is. He's not even, chat, he is 2 characters away from being technically low. He's at the cutoff of mid and low, bro. It is bad for him. It is really bad for him. He's not even like mid as in like, oh, he could potentially be high tier. No, he got a fucking plethora of characters ahead of him, bro. He's about to be low tier, bro. He's technically next to the fucking dogs right now. He's next to Duck Hunt and Isabelle. He's like a dog sitter. Sephiroth, the super soldier. Like that's like making a Marvel versus Capcom game and you put Zero or Virgil in again and they're like Tron Bond tier. Like how do you fuck that up, dude? Like, oh my, how do you fuck that up? He's dog sitting. It don't make no sense. Like it don't make sense, but realistically, yeah, he is in that spot. Like you could probably argue that he's probably better than Meta Knight, who low-key Meta Knight actually kind of fucks up Sephiroth, but you don't really see that matchup often. But like even Ice Climbers, bro, I don't think Ice Climbers are like that good, but like, can I really argue that he's like better than Ice Climbers? I don't think I can, because Ice Climbers actually does good against Fox, does good against like the FGC characters. He does good against like Peach, or like they do good against Peach and like some other characters and shit like that that are important. He doesn't do good against important characters except Luigi, and even then like shit could go real downhill if they parry a single one of my moves, because parry grab, boom, here you go, 70% or I die, you know. Like, so I can't just constantly be swinging and shit like that either. It's not like GG free matchup. It's only free for the edge guarding, but even that, like, you know, getting him out there sometimes can be a little annoying. Sephiroth does win the matchup though. I just don't think it's like his worst matchup. But yeah, yeah, it definitely sucks to see Sephiroth like that. I was thinking about it earlier. You know, like I was just like chilling here. I actually, I was thinking about it earlier, and out of every Fighters Pass character, the only two who haven't won a major, well, okay, I guess there's 3, but yeah, it's like 3, but 2 of them are like the 2 of my favorite characters of the Fighters Pass, which is Sephiroth and Banjo. Like character wise, like them being in the game, like I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they're in the game. Fucking ass. They're fucking garbage. The other character is like, is Terry, but like even Terry technically, like if you think Sephiroth counts for winning like Battle of BC, like can only use them in the top 8, not the rest of the bracket. If you count that, then I guess Terry does count, because Terry Riddles did beat Sonics at Collision with Terry in winter semis in order to proceed in bracket, because the Kazi got fucked up, if I'm not mistaken. He reversed 3-0'd him with Terry. So that is a big reason why he even won that tournament. And then yeah, Banjo hasn't won anything. Got some top 8s, but it's kind of just been going lower and lower in terms of placements, because like everyone's kind of seen it, done that with Banjo now. Like no more gimmick shit. Sora won Kagaribi 5 when Zachary used them. Sora just came out, so it's kind of like it counts, but it's like an asterisk. He definitely matchup checked people while also being a godlike player. But at the same time, it's also Japan. So the fact that he won still like a super major over there, beat like Shuton, beat like Ken, Kome, all these other motherfuckers with just Sora, it still counts, you know. Sephiroth didn't have that. He doesn't have a solo major win or super major win where he just steamrolls everybody and wins. So it was a P tier, even worse. Like, I mean, or like even worse in the sense like it was even more stacked and he won that shit. Now I think Sephiroth, if there was a new game, I think Sephiroth would be in the game. He's too popular. It's a combination of he's too popular, even though he's not the greatest character. He's too popular, and Square Enix, honestly, they kind of just, in other aspects that don't have to do with crossovers, they suck right now. They're not. Their building is just there. They're not doing anything. The lights are off. Nobody's there. Nobody doing shit over there. They AWOL right now. So they need that them good points. They need them positive points out here. So if they were to remove Cloud and Sephiroth, they just get more negative press. Like, wow, you really didn't let them bring back Cloud and Sephiroth. Oh my God, Square Enix. Jesus Christ. Like, fuck you guys, you know? Like 100%. Even if they remove a lot of characters, at the very least, one of them will be in the game, but I'd be surprised if Sephiroth was in the game and Cloud wasn't, you know? Cloud, I think, is for sure, like, he is staple, I think, at this point. I think Square Enix kind of learned when they almost ruined the everyone is here thing before, that if they did that, if they were the sole character that wasn't in Ultimate and ruined that whole everyone was here thing, they would be the most hated company. They'd be the most hated company, the most greedy fucks of all time. But they let it rock. Last second, they let it rock. But who knows? They can just decide, like, fuck it, we don't want them in the game anymore. They've done what they needed to do for the previous Smash games. Like, let them do whatever. But yeah, I just think business-wise, that's a bad decision. Like, I never understand. You know what's crazy is that there very likely is characters, or are characters, that were potentially gonna be in this game, but the company denied it. There's a possibility. We don't know that shit, obviously. You know, I could be talking out my ass, but there is a possibility that they had a list of characters to try to get some characters, and the company themselves are like, nah, we good on that. That shit, to me, that shit sound crazy, bro. Like, they paying you probably millions. The characters in the game, one of the biggest games in the modern era, fucking 40 million copies sold. Free ass fucking, like, press for your character, especially if your character ends up being really good and like a tournament threat, and people are like, oh, let me watch tournaments. Oh shit, Kratos is one of the best characters in the game. If you're a Nintendo fanboy, you don't really know much about Kratos. but maybe you might like using Kratos in Smash. You might get yourself a PlayStation one day. You might play God of War. Oh, God of War remake, Greek trilogy. I'm gonna get that shit when it comes out. I like this character. This, that. Boom. That's how it works. That's how the crossovers work. That's how the magic happens. So if there's any company out there that's just like, I don't want my character in their game, you're fucking dumb. You're dumb as fuck. You're the biggest dumbass ever, bro. What are you doing? Sakurai did mention that there's companies that don't want their characters in Smash. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe there's more like you know, shit that we don't know about. Obviously, you know, I'm just talking as like a spectator, an outsider, and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. Yeah, you know, and that's a really big example. Honestly, I think one of the biggest things that Ultimate did for a series was Dragon Quest. Remember how mad people were when Hero got first introduced? Anime Sword Fighter, like unironically using that anime Sword Fighter thing and all this stuff. People were so mad. And then they put Banjo in and people were less mad because they were like, okay, we got our character, we got our American character, you know, Dragon Quest is a Japanese series, we don't care, and stuff like that. But how many people play Dragon Quest now that before Ultimate didn't even know or give a fuck about what Dragon Quest was? But they played Hero in this game, they thought he was cool, they were like, let me get into Dragon Quest 11 because they also like coincided with like Hero coming out in Ultimate and like the Switch version of Dragon Quest coming out around the same time. They tried it out, they were like, hey, this shit was pretty good, you know, pretty good on JRPG, let me like play some other games in this series now. Boom. And now how many people do you say or see people say that Hero's a waste of a slot or whatever the fuck that they do for like other characters sometimes, you know, like Byleth and shit, which no, I'm just playing. But like, you know, that's a prime example, you know, that like that's just the magic that Smash has. Like people may not know the character, but they may become fans of that character once they actually get their hands on playing said character and go from there. Now that company has a lifetime fan potentially if they make games, because you know Dragon Quest 12, where the fuck is that shit at? You know, so it's always interesting to think about. Like I wish I could be a fly on the wall and just like bzz, 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 what the fuck going on in this meeting over here, this little meeting about getting this character, you know what I'm saying? This is always so interesting to think about, like that aspect that we will never know about, those meetings about characters, or like I don't want this character, or like oh, we'll only give you this character instead, like if not then that's it, you know, like it's just interesting to think about. I smacked the shit out of that fly. Well, hold on. Jeez. Aye. Wait, I didn't even do an outro. Oh my god, editors. Okay, listen, editors. I got y'all with this. Thank you guys for watching the 4th official tier list. Like I said, the Sinister 6 remaining on top of the tier list. Overall, this tier list wasn't the worst tier list. Honestly, I think it's a pretty for a tier list that was made by like 100 players that had to just rank characters from like 1 to 10. I feel like honestly a lot of this kind of hit the mark. Some missed the mark a little bit for probably a lot of people, but only a little bit. I'd be surprised if somebody was like, yo, Ness was supposed to be like where Wario is, or Rob is that high up, he should be where Pit is. Like maybe like Zamba gave him like a 2 out of 10 or some shit like that. But overall, I think off of almost 150 players, out of 150 players just ranking stuff from 1 to 10 and not even communicating it with one another, honestly don't think it was a bad job. So you know, it's not drastically different from the last tier list, but there are some big jumps, most notably Mega Man going up like 20 spots. But it is 20 spots that is definitely deserved, because Pimna has been definitely showing the potential of Mega Man in the last like year or so. So the only gripe that I have is that, like I said, Sephiroth is now dog sitting Isabelle and Duck Hunt. He is 2 spots away from low tier, so I'm gonna need some Sephiroths to kind of keep him in mid so I can always shout mid when I see him. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to change it up, gang. I'm gonna have to have low. Like, it don't hit the same, you know what I'm saying? It just don't hit the same. So Reno, Tweak, whoever else, please, and like, just get some wins, man. Just get some fucking wins, man. But yeah, and also besides that, my biggest gripe is that Simon and Richter are not the worst character. It seems that a lot of the players in the top 150 are starting to realize that he is the worst, but then there are some that are putting Little Mac and Ganondorf ahead. Therefore, I really look forward to the 5th official tier list when they correct this very big glaring issue here, that Simon should be underneath Ganondorf and Little Mac. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. The matchup chart. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Deuces. Call him Lid. Alright though, chat. It is 2 a.m. I know I didn't check out our new work, but I know today's video is the Kagaribi video. So I promise, next stream, promise. I'm gonna check out our new work. It is 2 a.m. I don't want to postpone the video any longer because it is gonna be a long video. This is gonna be the highlights of the finale, the finals day. Hey, what the fuck? Oh, I don't know. This video is a big video, a 2-hour video. If you missed out on Kagaribi, the most historic event of the modern era, then there's a 2-hour video. Now, are you a night owl? Are you gonna watch all 2 hours? I mean, if you do, you are hella goated. But if you missed out on it, we condensed not just top 8. It's gonna be multiple moments. It's from when it started, from top 24 all the way down to when the tournament ended. So it was like about like 7 hours or like 6 hours of like tournament sets and stuff like that. So we condensed it to 2 hours. So if you missed out on it and you want to like catch up to like what we were just talking about earlier today, because the event just ended. So, you know, big shout out. Also, you know, show some love to the editors as well. The event ended Tuesday morning. So 2 days ago, like 48 hours ago, we were watching Kagaribi, and my editors already made a Kagaribi Day 2 video and now a Kagaribi Finals Day, back to back. An hour video for the Kagaribi Day 2 and the Finals Day for a 2-hour video. So, hey, you know, I always tell you how to leave a like on the video and comment. If you do comment, please show some love to the editors. They do hard work. They definitely deserve the praise, man. So, said Larry uploaded it first. Yeah, you know what, bro? Let me check that. Let me fact check that before you make me start roasting that old fuck. I don't see it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. He actually wait, did he just upload it? Oh no, he uploaded it yesterday. Kagaribi highlights. However, I don't know if that's all the highlights because it has Leo and Mia in the thumbnail. So that means that the biggest highlight might be that. So it might be like the Day 2 thing like I just did. But anyways, shout out to Larry. But with that being said though, chat, I'm gonna call it here. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe on a new video. And before I go, wait, one last thing. Throne Fest has its off season, so if you guys aren't doing anything, there's gonna be a Friday or a singles event this Friday, so 2 days from now, Friday 7 p.m. EST. If you use wireless, if you are a wireless player, you can still enter, but use LAN if you can. All right, so you know they're gonna let it rock, but you know, if you have the option to use a LAN adapter, please do. Make it easier, of a better experience for you and your opponent and stuff like that. So if you need if you need to scan the QR code for the Drone Fest event, if you can scan that. If you don't scan it right now and I end the stream, you can just go back to this part of the VOD and scan it there, and it'll still work and stuff. I don't have to be live. So yeah, but with that being said, if you need any questions and stuff, join up the Drone Fest Discord, !Drone Fest. Always have like Flo do it, but Flo, but he's not here. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Show the new video some love. Sign up for Drone Fest. It is off season. The new season hasn't started yet, but it will in due time. Have a good night, chat. I'll see y'all later. Even though the stream, one last thing. Even though the stream died, both VODs for the stream. So if you wanted to see the first part of the tier list, if you wanted to go back to that or like my thoughts on that, it'll still be there. So both of them will be VODs. So obviously the shorter one, this one I've been live for 46 minutes. So obviously the 46-minute VOD that you'll see on the playlist is this part of the stream, and then the one that's like 4 hours or whatever, or 5 hours, is part of the other, or the first half of it. I'll label it 1 out of 2 and 2 out of 2, just so you don't get confused. But all right, though, have a good night, chat. I'll see y'all later. Anybody, new members, join up the member cord, all that good stuff. I'll see y'all later. Peace.